North Carolina, and you are looking live at Sold Out Giant Stadium, where today the 15-0 New York Giants are taking on the 0-15 Chicago Bears. Why are the Chicago Bears 0-15? Because they suck. Welcome to the Gridiron. Anybody at all out there? Anybody at all going to spend a little bit of time with me here? Thank you so much. It means so much to me. Or anybody wants to replay this, once again, guys, thank you so much as always. You guys absolutely rock. I'm going to try to go about 30 minutes here tonight. Anybody got anything to say? Anything? We got some good news, right? Well, kind of mostly good news, right? I mean, Giants victory. That's some good news. Throw it in the chat. I check on it every now and then, right? So anybody got anything to say? Just throw it in there. But I'll tell you what, huh? Boy, I'll tell you what. Oh, my goodness. We got to go back to like the kind of the prehistoric dinosaur age days. I mean, I was just happy the Giants were able to actually walk out of there with at least, I don't know. They were. I was happy they were able to field 11 guys on the field. I mean, it was just absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. I mean, one gave the walking wounded. I mean, simply amazing. Now, this is, I got some, it's from Big Blue View. They got a little bit of the update here on some injury news. All right, we got Daniel Jones obviously left the game, but he came back in after Tyrod got hurt with a concussion. He had his ankle injury. Don't know the extent of that. He was either lined up outside as a wide receiver. Saquon was taking the snaps. Or Daniel Jones at the end there was handing the ball off, but I mean he didn't really drop back because he couldn't run. Right? I guess they didn't want him to stand in the pocket and get pummeled because he couldn't scramble, run away from the pressure or anything like that. So we got so two of our quarterbacks are hurt. Absolutely, simply amazing, isn't it? At least thankfully we have Davis Webb. Now you don't know what Tyrod had to go in for a concussion. Okay, that was this is what why you have the guys slide earlier, or try to prevent contact, or try to prevent hits. I mean that was a nasty hit that Tyrod took. It was legal. I mean, the guy wasn't going in there to try to, obviously give him a concussion or nothing. But once you become a running quarterback, you kind of lose all your protection. All right, as far as like penalties and stuff like that. Well, it would have been nice because he got the first down, Tyrod, and he got a little bit past it. So if he would have, maybe slid a little sooner, he probably would have avoided the contact. He would have stayed in the game. But so we got Tyrod Taylor left with a possible concussion sustained when he ran for a first down during the second series. His second series. Then Jones returned, but was obviously hampered. Saquon Barkley took a number of wildcat snaps at quarterback. But, that's only going to last so long. You can't keep doing it. We got Evan Neal. He's injured. With his neck, he was replaced at right tackle by Devery Hamilton in the second half. Okay. Then we had cornerback Aaron Robinson came back from his appendectomy, but in his first action after missing 2 games, he suffered a knee injury. He was ruled out after appearing to get folded under a Chicago offensive lineman while trying to defend a second quarter running play. Well, that's the one thing I love about him. He is not afraid to come up and take the run. That's why I absolutely love him. So, I just wish the guy just wouldn't get hurt all the time. Then, of course, Julian Love was rolled out in the second quarter with a concussion. Love was pulled from the game by the NFL's concussion spotter, which is after what happened with Tua. Okay, I'm sure they're going to be, You know what? And I mean that was absolutely. I mean, just to see the guy on the field like that is absolute Tua. I'm talking about. I mean, anybody. Period. But I mean, that was just absolutely freaking horrible. Absolutely horrible. I wish that him nothing but the best, speedy recovery and all that stuff. But I mean, after you see what happened to Tua, I mean, I'm sure they're going to be keeping an eye on guys. As far as with concussions and everything, right? And defensive tackle Henry Mondeau was carted off late in the second quarter with an ankle injury. And of course, then we got wide receiver Kenny Golladay left the game in the third quarter with a knee injury. I mean, it's just unbelievable. I don't know if I saw any of the Bears. I think I saw one guy get hurt for the Bears. The other 37 guys that got injured during the game, they were all Giants. I mean, it's absolutely unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. But, I mean, we got the victory. Didn't come out of it healthy by any stretch of the imagination, but thankfully, we got the victory. Let's see here. Where we got the team stats. Now, the Giants, obviously, passing the ball was for either team. Once again, the Bears came into the game with 23 completions. What did they do here? Okay, they completed 11 out of 22. But they completed more passes in this game than they did in any other game. Actually, they completed like half as many passes. They had 23 in 3 games. This game they had 11. So, but they're not a passing team. Somehow they completed 11 passes for 155 yards. They also had, what do they have? Where's the rushing? They had 149 yards rushing. Okay. They had a very balanced attack. They had 304 total yards. So, the Giants had 21 first downs. What do we got here? Either won the time of possession. I mean, because what do we have here? We had 71 yards passing. Holy cow. 71 yards passing. We were 9 out of 16 passing. Well, it's over 50%. What do we got here? We were 6 out of 14 on third downs. We ran the ball 44 times, 262 yards, 6 yards a carry. And, I'll tell you what, it just felt like somewhere along the line, right? Somewhere along the line, it just seemed like Saquon was going to break one because he got so many chances. He got the ball so many times. It seemed like he had a couple of them where it was close. It seemed like if they just kept feeding him the ball, one of these times, I mean, the Bears defense had to be getting tired, right? Stopping the run that many times, 44 rushing attempts by the Giants. That's a lot. That's a lot of runs. You figured the Bears defense would get tired. And somewhere third, maybe fourth quarter, Saquon would just break one and go all the way. Didn't wind up happening. But let's see here. What do we got? Box score. Daniel Jones was 8 out of 13. He ran 6 times for 68 yards. Tyrod Taylor ran 3 for 30. Matt Breida had 3 for 18. Right. Saquon 31 times for 146 yards, 4.7 yards a carry. Right. We had some. I mean, Barkley had a long of 29. Jones had a long of 21. Tyrod Taylor had a long of 13. Breida had a long of 13. I'll tell you what, they could not hold the edge. I mean, my goodness. I mean, especially in the first half, Moose Johnson kept referring us over and over. And oh, holy cow. I mean, like Daniel Jones would go to fake the ball to maybe Saquon. Saquon would go one way. The whole Bears defense would go that way. Daniel Jones would, hold the ball, roll out to the other side, and there was like one Bear defender on that side of the field. I mean, it was over and over and over. It was unbelievable how horrible their defense was. I mean, holy cow.
The magic is
But then our good old Graham Gano, he missed that 37-yard field goal right there at the end, which would have sealed the deal pretty much, which would have made it a 9-point game. So even if the Bears scored a touchdown somewhere in the last 10 seconds of the game, really wouldn't have mattered for the most part. Holy cow. I can't believe it. I mean, he's kicking all these 50-something yard field goals, and he misses a 37-yarder. But thankfully, it didn't wind up mattering. Let's see who we got here. Daniel Bellinger led all receivers. 3 receptions. Saquon Barkley had 2. Tanner Hudson had 1. Darius Slayton had 1 after he drops the frickin' touchdown. Oh, my God. Well, thankfully, we got the pass interference on the one Darius Slayton drop. But, I mean, it's like I guess we shouldn't wonder why. Why is Darius Slayton playing? Why? Yeah. I guess maybe we should just kind of nip that in the bud. I mean, he drops another touchdown pass here because we didn't get a touchdown from it. I think we got a field goal out of it. I believe that was one of our second half field goals. But I mean, if he would have just, if he could have held the ball, we would have scored a touchdown. We'd have had another 4 points. It would have been 24-12, right? Let's see. David Sills, Richie had 1 reception. Kenny Golladay, he didn't have any receptions. Once again, what do you have? 3? What's he have? 3 receptions in 4 games. Darius Slayton has 1. So basically, Kenny Golladay has 3 receptions, I think, in 4 games. Darius Slayton has 1 reception in 4 games. David Sills had 1 reception. Richie James had 1 reception. I mean, it's like our wide receivers today had 3 receptions. Somehow we managed to win with our wide receivers getting 3 receptions. I mean, we're I mean, they weren't much better. The Bears had 11 completions, right? Where would we have? We lost. What do we got? Richie James lost on the punt return. Tyrod Taylor threw the interception, but that was down deep, so that kind of pinned him down. So that it was an interception, but it was kind of like a good punt. Who we have here? Tate Crowder led the team with 11 tackles. We actually had, simply amazing. We actually had 6 sacks. We actually could have had more. If Justin Fields wasn't such a good athlete, right, we would have had even more sacks. But so Tate Crowder had a sack. Dexter Lawrence with 2 sacks, right? Jihad Ward had 1. Azeez Ojulari, he had 1. And I don't know here. I don't know. This is a little weird. On ESPN, they have team had 1 sack. So I'm not exactly sure what the hell that means. I'm not really sure. What we had 6 tackles for loss. We had 3 passes defensed. We had 9 quarterback hits. Okay, so compared to last week or against the Cowboys, we had 2 quarterback hits and no sacks. Here we had 6. We came into the game with 3? I think we had 3 sacks on the year, and we just got 6 in this game. So now we're up to 9 sacks. Okay, so. But and quarterback hits, we had 9. Last week we had 2. Right? So we did a very, very good job here. Very, very, very good job. We only gave up 1 sack. Okay, we gave up 2 quarterback hits. So, but a lot of that also helped was because every time Daniel Jones got the ball, what did he do? He rolled out. A lot of times he was not so much of a statue standing in the pocket. Right? He got the ball and he rolled out away from trouble. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see, right, what the Giants wind up trying to do again with the Packers this coming Sunday when they play the Packers in England early again. I think it starts. I think it's 9:30, 9 o'clock, 9:30. I think it starts. Of course, it also really helped. One thing it was that when Brightwell recovered the fumble of the muff punt from the Bears, That was huge because that gave the Giants the ball back. Obviously, the chance to run the clock down, run the clock out, whatever. But we got down in the field goal range. Gano missed it, but we left the Bears a very minimal amount of time on the clock. Okay, so that wound up being huge, right? So I got a couple articles here. I mean, people, I know it's picking up or making fun always of the NFC East, right? But I mean, I'll tell you, Washington. Oh my God. Hello, Ronnie. Hey, what a great game. I just wish we stayed healthier. I'll tell you what, Washington, they are, they are brutal. But the Cowboys are 3-1, Giants are 3-1, and the Eagles are 4-0. So between the Eagles, the Cowboys, and the Giants, what the heck is that? My math is right. 10-2? Holy cow. So glad we won, too. Yeah, I just wish we would have stayed healthier. I mean, it's just, I mean, my goodness. Thankfully, at least we have Davis Webb. So if Tyrod can't be the backup because of his concussion, he'll come back from the concussion. Don't know. It could be this week coming up. You're not exactly sure. His head was bouncing around after he got tackled. So, I mean, I hope he comes back real quick. But then we'll have to see what's going on with the extent of Daniel Jones as well, too. I mean, the thing is, it's like, if you got an ankle, I mean, you live for this. I mean, much less if your ankle's falling off, you're staying in the game. So, I mean, for Daniel Jones to have to come off and not be able to play, I mean, it'd be a little something going on with that ankle of his there. Let's see what happens in London. Yeah, I know. I mean, the Packers don't look absolutely phenomenal. I mean, the Patriots almost beat them. The Packers won, what the heck was it, 27-24 in overtime today. So the Patriots, with like a third-string quarterback, went in there and brought him into, I can't remember what the hell the quarterback's name was, but like a third-string quarterback went into Green Bay, Lambeau Field, and took the Packers to overtime. So the Packers got a nice defense. Of course, they got Aaron Rodgers. My concern, it's like, are we going to be able to score any points, right? They won by a field goal in overtime. It was like they got it down to like 10 seconds or 15 seconds in overtime, and they kicked the game-winning field goal. But, I mean, the Giants did it like the opposite. First 3 games, we scored field goals in the first half, and any touchdowns we scored was in the second half. This week, we scored the 2 touchdowns in the first half. We kicked the 2 field goals in the second half. So we kind of did things backwards. But, I mean, it's just like our wide receivers. I mean, Darius Slayton's dropping balls. Kenny Galladay's hurt. I mean, it's like, hopefully we can get Kadarius Toney or Wan'Dale Robinson back. Hopefully, I mean, somewhere along the line, right? And then I have to see as far as our quarterback situation. Who's going to be the starter? Who's going to be the backup? Evan Neal apparently had injured his neck. I mean, I hope that's nothing. Devery Hamilton did a decent job. Thankfully, we only got sacked one time, but then again, we only got sacked once. We only wanted throwing 16 passes. We ran the ball a lot, so we lucked out there. But this kind of prehistoric kind of way that we won is not going to work, for long stretches of time. So, I mean, we got the W here, right? And we've been very lucky, okay, Wan'Dale and Leo will be back. I hope so. I mean, I could certainly see Leo being back because we can use them. We can certainly use Leo back, help clog up the middle, put pressure on Rodgers up the middle. That would be huge. Hopefully we get Wan'Dale back. I have no idea if Kadarius Toney, when that hamstring is going to be untight because it's hamstring tightness. So, but we need help with the wide receiver department. I mean, I said Slayton dropped the pass. He could have had a touchdown, hit him right in the hands. Could have been a touchdown. He's played. Is his 4th game. He's finally caught his first pass in 4 games. And then, of course, we got Aaron Robinson got hurt. Julian Love got hurt. I mean, we can't seem to say your prayers. Yeah, I know. We can't seem to catch a break. I mean, with these injuries. I mean, it's like seems like one injury after the other, right? Then they got some more stuff here. They got the Giants won despite seeing both quarterbacks suffer injuries that left them without the ability to pass the ball for the final 8. They couldn't pass the ball for the final 8.5 minutes of the game. See, at least if Kadarius Toney was in there, you would have the option of possibly, because Kadarius can throw the ball, right? Get him the ball, maybe some type of jet sweep or something like that as he's rolling out, looking downfield, see if anybody's open. There's an option there. I mean, Daniel Jones can throw the ball. It's just I'm sure they don't want him sitting in the pocket, right, and getting annihilated, because he can't run for his life. So, and the Giants won despite throwing for only 82 yards. They won despite not scoring a touchdown in the second half. They won despite losing 7 players to injury. 7 players to injury. They won despite a first-half fumble punt by Richie James that set up a Chicago field goal and an ill-advised deep throw by Tyrod Taylor that turned into an interception. Yeah, but the thing about that is that, and I understand it's an interception and it's, I get it. However, it was down deep. You know what I'm saying? And so I believe we tackled them like right away. So the Bears had the ball down deep, okay? And they said they won despite allowing Chicago quarterback Justin Fields to throw for a season-high 170. Yeah. He threw for 177 yards. We only completed 11 passes, right? He ran for 52 more. So, but, they only completed 50% of his passes. So the defense kept us in the game, right? I mean, the Bears had the ball quite a few times. I'm going to go over this here. Where we had her. I want to go play by play. We started toward the end is when we really started gelling defensive wise. A lot of 3 and outs for the Bears. Okay. But you'll notice here in the beginning, okay, the Bears' first drive, 10-play drive led to a field goal. Then their second drive, it was 6 plays, 77 yards, right? Held them to a field goal. Then they fumbled on their next one, but they still had a 10-play drive. Then they had a 3-play drive. Then they had a 7-play drive. Then they had a 3-play drive, but the end of the half came up, okay? Then when they got the ball to start the second half, they had a 9-play drive, all right? But then after that is when we started shutting them down. They had a 3-and-out. They had a 3-and-out. They had a 3-and-out. They had a 4-and-out. And then they had the last series of the game where they had the 3 plays and they had that fumble at the end where the Giants recovered it. I don't remember which Giant jumped on the ball. I mean, that was wild. But, they kept what we got. Defense played well. Tibbs and Dexter. Yeah, and there was one play where Justin Fields was coming around the edge, was rolling out to his right. And Kayvon was there, and Kayvon was trying to move in for the tackle, and Justin Fields got around him. Kayvon dove at his legs, but he missed him by quite a bit. But you could see Azeez played amazing. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Crowder was all over the place. Yeah. He had 11 tackles. Was it 11? I think it was 11. I think that's what I read. Yeah. He had another good game. Yep. Game ball goes to Barkley. Yeah. Tell you what. What the hell did he have? He had 100 and something yards rushing. He had over, he had like 160 yards or so altogether. 160, 170 total yards altogether. Let me see if I can find that there. What did Saquon have here? We got box score. Okay, Saquon had the 146 and 16. Had 162 total yards. Yeah, but I mean, not only that, but I mean, the thing was that, he was catching passes. He was running the ball, but he's running the Wildcat then at the end, right? So, But I mean, I don't know if that's going to wind up, how long that's going to work for the Giants. They got, they're going to have a very difficult time trying to continue to win football games, okay, with trying to run the ball and not being able to pass the ball. I mean, very difficult time. I mean, we're very happy with 3-1. We played some weaker opponents, okay, with 3-1. But we got to play the Packers, who can score some points, right? Then we got to play the Ravens, who can score some points. I mean, they can score points, and they have a very good run game. And obviously, Lamar Jackson, that guy's a freak. That's a guy's a freak. I mean, man, that guy, he could take it to the house any play. So you got to be very, very careful of him. So I mean, the Giants, if they're not, they could certainly be 3-3 after the next two games. I hope not. I hope we're 5-1, but we certainly could be 3-3 because we got two very good, tough opponents coming up without question. But hopefully Leo comes back. As I said, the defense kept us in this game. But I mean, if we wind up giving the Packers a couple touchdowns, if Rodgers gets hot, we don't put pressure on him. He starts completing some passes. They score a couple touchdowns. It might be very difficult for us to come back. Very, very difficult. We got to stay healthy, give the defense a break, and start getting some serious points on the. I know but right. What did we do? We scored 21 against the Titans. Right, we scored 20 points here against the Bears. I mean, what was 16 against the 19 against? What was it? 19 against the Panthers, 16 against the Cowboys. I mean, we're kind of back to where we have been. I mean, like the last couple of years, we average like 16, 17 so points a game. It's tough. I mean, it's tough. I mean, not only we're not scoring many points, but I mean, now we keep getting injured. And, Evan Neal, right? Our quarterbacks, our wide receiver. This would be a nice time for the Giants to have like a bye week or so. Maybe get a week off, or you maybe start getting some guys back healthy and all. It's just unbelievable that the Giants just can't seem to stay healthy. Cannot seem to stay healthy at all. Right? I mean, it said, what did we do with Tay Crowder? We had he had 11 tackles. Jaylen Smith, right? Jaylen Smith, 7 tackles. Okay. First action, right? He had 1 tackle for a loss. He had 6 solo tackles, Jaylen Smith. So basically, all right, now check this out, okay? Between Dexter Lawrence, Jaylen Smith, and Tay Crowder, right up the middle, those are the top 3 tacklers for the Giants. Dexter Lawrence had 5 tackles. Jaylen Smith, inside linebacker, had 7. Tay Crowder had 11. Okay. Now, if we get Leonard Williams back, that'll even strengthen up the middle of our defense even more. So you got to give Jaylen Smith a lot of credit for first game of the season. Okay. He was on the practice squad last week when we were playing the Cowboys, but he came back first game of the season. I'm not saying I'm going to go over the team and player grades tomorrow night from Pro Football Focus, see what they graded out at. All right. So, I mean, Jaylen Smith, maybe he didn't grade out real well, but regardless of the fact, he was in there on 7 tackles and he had 1 tackle for loss. So first game of the season, got to give the man a lot of credit. So I said, the strength for us was right up the middle, which would be huge, especially if we get Leo the Lion back. So we can have Leo the Lion and Dexter Lawrence. That would wind up being huge, really, really huge. Then if you got, if we can keep Azeez and Thibodeau healthy, we'll have a nice front 4 right there. Okay. And I said, if we can keep Jaylen Smith, Tay Crowder, healthy, we'll have a nice up the middle. It's just, unfortunately, our cornerbacks, our secondary took some hits, right? Aaron Robinson, I think he had his knee bent back. What do we got? That turf will be gone next year. Let's hope. I hope so. I mean, back in 2000, the Giants went 1999. They had AstroTurf or whatever it was. In 2000, that's when the Giants switched. They went back to the NY on the little NY on their helmet, which is what they have now. Not only did they do that, they put the NY on there because up to 1999, they had the Giants on the side. In 2000, they went to the little NY and they switched to grass. Okay. it never held up very, very well. They had the grass there for like 3 or 4 years. I guess it never held up real well. Had a hard time growing it. I don't know. Somehow they grow it. They can grow it in Cleveland. They can grow it in like Pittsburgh, the Eagles, Philadelphia. They got grass, but for some reason we can't grow grass. For some reason, they can grow it in Lambeau Field. We can grow it in Chicago, but for some reason in northern Jersey we can't grow grass or have the grass maintained in whatever November and December and all. I don't get it. No idea. Hopefully. I mean, hopefully it'll be gone. Hopefully it works. But I mean, I know they had a hard time because when the Giants had the grass field back in the early 2000s, as I said, it was like 2001 to 2003. It was like 3 or 4 years. You can tell by the end of the season. I mean, guys would be running because they would like try to resod the field or whatever, and guys would be running and like chunks of sod would become flying up and everything. So they would either maybe try to resod the field and it just never took. It just really didn't last very, very well. So then they just wound up going back to turf. But I mean, it's like if they can keep grass in some other stadiums, there's got to be a way. You can't possibly tell me there's no way that the Giants can't put grass in their stadium. I mean, isn't it worth saving the guys, possibly saving some of the guys, from injury by having grass in there? I mean, come on. I mean, we're a $1 billion organization here. I mean, come on. I mean, there's got to be a way. You can't tell me we could put people on the moon. We can send ships or whatever out to Jupiter and all that. You can't tell me there's no way that we can't grow grass or have grass maintained, however, in northern Jersey. I mean, stop. You can't tell me that. There's got to be a way. And I really wish they would find out. I mean, it doesn't matter. What's it going to cost? A few $1 million? Yeah. Well, how much are you losing with players getting hurt? Huh? Right? How many millions are you losing there? Right? Let's see. Yes. Only 3 turfs left in the NFL. I mean, they can grow grass other places. We got to, I mean, there's got to be a way. Whether you can slide it in or something like that after the game, pull it out and whatever. I don't know. There's got to be a way you can do it. I mean, you can't possibly tell me that you can't grow grass and have it be maintained in Jersey. I mean, the guy's health rely on it. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous at this day and age that we can't have grass there. I mean, you got guys getting injured. I really wish they would. Really, really wish they would. But that's been 33 minutes. Anybody? Especially you, Ronnie. Thank you. Took any time at all watching this? Anybody spend any time at all watching a replay of this? I'll be back again tomorrow night. I'm going to have the team and player grades according to PFF. And hopefully I'll have some injury updates, and see what's going on as far as with maybe Tyrod or Julian Love, Aaron Robinson, Evan Neal, Daniel Jones, anybody. Hopefully we get some good news going forward because we can use all the help we can get next week when we have to play Aaron Rodgers and those Green Bay Packers in England. Well, as always, guys, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. You guys stay safe out there and go Giants. Woo! Oh, yeah.